Weatherman, don't tell me lies, I know it's all a big surprise. It's a hocus pocus magic that you do.
Good evening, I'm Meteorologist David Knollhoff. Thank you for joining us here on WEITV for another weekly weather edition. Well, let's take a look at this past week, and guess what? There's not a whole lot to talk about. Unfortunately, the weather pattern that brought some rain to the portions of northern hill country didn't really supply a whole lot of rainfall for the eastern hill country. And over the eastern hill country, only got about 200s, 500s, maybe a tenth of an inch if you're up towards the Waco area. And so that frontal passage on Thursday ended up being really pretty much a non-event for a good portion of the hill country. So we didn't get a lot of rainfall, and that really is unfortunate because we're starting to enter into that period of time when our rainfall does maximize here across the Texas hill country in the early portion of the spring. So, but that's an extended forecast, and right now I really just want to look at what's going to happen this weekend into the following week. Well, the pattern remains what I refer to as progressive, and that essentially means that all the weather is mainly to the north of us, well to the north of us, and also well to the south. So we're in this pocket of quiet weather pattern, and there's a connection. There's a connection to the Pacific Ocean. And the Pacific Ocean right now is really just leading us into a neutral pattern, and that's not really producing a whole lot of rainfall for us. And it doesn't look like a whole much is going to be changing in that realm. And so this progressive pattern is going to continue. We're going to stay quiet for not only this weekend, as we have a few high pressure centers that do pass along our way, but those high pressures are going to also be in here for the following week. And so that also means dry weather is going to continue. It's really going to be a pleasant weather pattern for all practical purposes. Lots of sun, lots of dry weather. With these passage of high pressure centers though, some days we're going to have north winds and other days we're going to have southerly winds, but no fronts and no weather disturbances to really kick off any rainfall. And so our high temperatures, not only this weekend but into next week, is going to be in the 60s. We might touch the 70s this weekend, but generally across the hill country we're going to see 60s for the highs, and low temperatures in the night are going to be quite cool. Mainly the 30s for the eastern portion of the hill country, and I would say above freezing in general. And then for the western portion of the hill country, there are going to be a few freezes out there. But in general, all that cold air and all that wet weather is locked up to the north, and so it's going to be pleasant. Well, the drought is still impacting us, and that's going to continue. We haven't had a whole lot. The drought's persisting for all practical purposes, and that's going to continue this week as the dry weather continues. But we'll certainly keep you updated if anything changes, and please stay tuned to listen to what Sydney has to tell us next.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great week, and thank you, Dave, for the weekly forecast. Now for our weekly environmental aspects. On February 25th at Austin, there's a Texas Ag Water Forum over conservation and efficiency. It's at the Sheraton. On February 26th at the Arboretum, there's a wildlife management presentation. On February 26th at the LCRA Service Center, there's a Central Texas Water Conservation Symposium. And on February 27th through the 28th, there's the Imagine Austin Speakers Panel that will have a talk about 4 cities that have revised their land development codes and their process. Just follow the link below and it will provide you the address to those 2 events. On February 27th through March 1st at the Hilton Austin Airport, there will be a Texas Land Conservation Conference. So, I hope you all have a great week, and thank you for following WEITV.
Weatherman, don't tell me lies, I know it's all a big surprise. It's a hocus pocus magic that you do.